find themselves on campus, and again, people would say, I go days without finding somebody. When you finally have an EOP that starts to bring Chicanos onto campus, and you start to see each other, one of the first things they'll do is like, well, I want to see you again. And so they form an organization, but it's very informal.
Gay and lesbian history is not just in social organizations. Sometimes it's in clubs and bars, sometimes it's in other spaces. Because of that, the multiple acts of marginalization. But even in Long Beach, there are queer mujeres like Lola de la Riva, Osa de la Riva, Hidalgo de la Riva, that were here in the 70s.
And we are bearing witness to living history with 4 generations of amazing scholars, mujeres that have done the work and have helped us to understand the historical context of the Chicano movement and Chicanas' roles as activists, as scholars, as mujeres, as feministas, and the linkages that they've helped to create. It's helped me to contextualize my own experience as a college student, back in the late 80s, as well as a community organizer and the work that I do today as a union activist. And so I'm just really glad to be here.
As a feminist, I don't want it to be groups with just feminists in it. I want it to be a feminist organization and anything, because if you don't have that as the primary representation within the foundations, it's not going to be shown throughout the organization. It'll still be male dominated.
We came today to the conference because it just touched on a lot of issues that were close to my life, being a non-gender conforming queer woman of color. So of course I wanted to learn, and it was free and it was totally accessible, so I was like, hey, let's come. And I recently came out to my mom about a year ago, and we've just been kind of looking for resources on how to talk about it, understand it with all the kind of different, like, the intersectional identity, and trying to understand it and how to live in this world, like in a positive way, dealing with all these different issues.
I came in because I love my daughter. I support her fully in what she does. I respect her as a wonderful woman. I'm blessed to have her as my daughter. And the other thing is that I want to be able to share with other parents, not just gay parents, but just parents, and maybe shut down those ignorant connotations they have. Because as soon as people hear gay, they go straight to sexuality. It has nothing to do with that. And in my family, that's like
sex, yeah.
Yes, that's the biggest thing, yes. The actual active sex, that's the biggest thing that's going to have an issue with us. She hasn't come out to family yet, so I have to respect that. When she's ready, then I know we have a fight in our hands. And I'm just trying to get the more resources that I have available so that I can educate them as to look, they just have to take a look at her, know that they love her, and say, look, this is what gay looks like, this is what it is.
I'm not really all aware of the movement right now, but what I've been in contact with, it's more inclusive, it's more accepting. Maybe still uncomfortable, so it's still a relative thing, but more accepting. I've met more and more men who are changing just in terms of their own lifestyle. But I haven't heard that as part of a forum. The experience of women fighting for the environment that the women experienced when they asked to be treated equally and to not be locked into traditional roles, and the intimidation, rejection, intimidation, and often violence that they experienced if they did proceed in doing non-traditional things, or criticizing the existing traditional roles of the familia, because the familia at that point was being used as the reason why the men should be reinstated in their patriarchal role, and that racism had denied them that status of having the power to control his own life, but also the lives of the children and the wife. And so the Chicanas were saying, we want to be able to do it differently. Well, we talked about here when we put out a newspaper called Hijas de Cuauhtémoc, and how it was rejected by those in leadership at the Mecha trailer, and how they held a funeral and a funeral procession in burying the Hijas de Cuauhtémoc, and they hung me in effigy. So they participated in these hate crimes.
Any kind of inequality or oppression that you see, speak out, hold people accountable. It's only by acting that we will change this world.